All right, we are live with part of the panel here. We have the illustrious Joe Good Logic. How you doing, man?
A little under the weather, but otherwise happy to be here. Very, 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 very thrilled to be here. But
the energy is exuding.
Energy. I'm just like, I'm gonna be popping, man, popping. I'm totally popping all stream here.
We're gonna keep them as long as we can.
I actually told Lady Logic, I'm like, last night I was like, I just have a feeling that this is gonna get worse and worse for like another 24 hours. And like my Sabbath, I'm just gonna basically be like laid up in bed the entire time, and then it'll start to get better. But I've had like a completely healthy streak for like 3 years. Like when everyone was getting sick, I didn't get sick a single time for like even 5 minutes. And so much so that I thought I became like Mr. Impervious to like any sort of illness. Not that that's medical advice or anything like that, but that's how I really felt. And yeah, now I don't know what this thing is, but it's fever and aches and headaches and sore throats and coughing and phlegm. It's gross. It's really gross. You don't want to be with him.
Well, that's why we do this virtually.
Yes.
Obviously, yes. You'll definitely be at your house. So, okay, what is going on, everybody? We're working on people trickling in. Rob is allegedly a real lawyer who's practicing in court and supposedly on his way to the office. We'll see. We'll see on that if he is. Waiting on Ian. Nate is on a phone call, probably dealing with the case. So he should be here momentarily. And who else do we have? We may have a couple other people joining us later, but welcome to a legal panel on a Friday. But Joe, I am dressed for the occasion.
Love it.
We have
it.
I only wish I did these.
Who did those?
These were done by Popcorn Planet. And I was like, damn, I wish I did that one. Damn it. Because it is some great merchandise, but I definitely had to throw some support. They've been very supportive of Nate and everything that's going on.
Oh, Andy Senor, I love that guy. He's good. He's really good.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I finally have you in here because I've spent a lot of time with Nate talking about this and really haven't talked to Rob on a stream or anything since it began. But you were in the line of Bouzy secession or Bouzy attacks or whatever.
I think, I was the first one that I think, I mean, it started, obviously, Tug was attacked in the article. And
correct.
Then Ian went after him, and then I was basically calling him out, and he came after me, and I feel as if like my LawTube brethren basically came together when he responded with really a childish type of attack. Like it was like. It was an attack that he, tagged me on, but it really was an attack on everyone in LawTube when he's like, you're an attorney who's such a failure that you're on the internet, you have a YouTube channel that's one step above being a 40-year-old living in his parents' basement. And it's like, you're saying that about me, but that's literally an attack on everyone who does what I do. It's not like there was anything unique to me that he was saying. He's like, that's his take on it. And I'm like, dude, we do like much better than most attorneys. Like really, like we do. Like it's like a lot of people. I think they get so hung up on like the austerity of like, ooh, this is like someone who is, it's the same people who get all thrilled over an Ivy League degree on the wall. So they put great stock in like the way someone is earning their money. It's almost like 100 years ago. Like people be like, someone being old money, like that's like considered a greater type of thing. I'm like, dude, like we seriously do much better than most attorneys, and we're not subject to any of the stresses. This is like we figured out a life hack on how to be a lawyer, and it's like you're sitting here like mocking us. I'm like, dude, you're the loser who's desperately trying to get your name out. We're the people coming to us left and right without having to put in. Without having to like make crap up to get there. So anyway, but after he attacked me, so Rob stepped in and he went after Rob, and Nate stepped in, and that's when he really started firing up on Nate with really really just like such an ugly look type of thing that nobody who was a white person would have gotten away with attacking Nate the way he did. Like seriously, if Bouzy was taking advantage of he was playing the black card in the sense that, he started saying how Nate is an admitted child of two crackheads or something like that. And it's like, can you imagine a white person making that statement about Nate without them being like completely blown up?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That would be
that'd be the end of their social career forever. I mean, if they did that, and yet he plays the race card as if he doesn't have all the advantages of the way he uses race, rather, and he makes it as if anytime someone says anything bad about him, it's not because he's some sort of a-hole or a jerk or a liar, but because he's black. And it's like, no one cares whether you're black. It's just you're a jerk and you're a liar and your stuff is crap. Like your information is crap, as Nate keeps pointing out over and over and over again.
Did he fix anything, Nate, or was I right that everything would come up just as bad because he can't do it?
Everything is coming up even worse. Yeah, it's shameful because this is where I think the rubbers meet in the road. Is that this guy was put out as the expert in this particular space. And now people like Legal Mindset, he had the experts on and they were like, this guy, it's obvious to anyone who knows what they're doing that this is all a fugazi. So it's one of those things. And it's like us as lawyers, like we know when someone is BSing as a lawyer, right? We know, like, okay, you're not telling us, this is all BS. You're not a lawyer, right? And I think that's kind of what you're getting here. And remember that the doctor. Does she have a PhD yet, or is she still trying to get it?
No. She's a postdoc.
Yeah, she's a postdoc.
So she got her PhD, and she continues doing research. Yeah, post PhD at University of Maryland, I believe. But yeah, Dr. Orr.
Yes,
Caroline Orr.
And so she's an actual expert who worked with Bouzy, and she's saying that it's all nothing. So I think that's the big fear now with Bouzy. Bouzy's fear isn't really us; it's being exposed for what it really is. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're doing. We're exposing the truth. And again, the best disinfectant is sunlight, and we're about to shine a lot of sunlight on it.
Yeah, we are. A lot of sunlight. What are we, 3 streams into the day? And you said Legal Mindset was his stream already today too, with the experts?
Yesterday, last night with the experts.
I mean, this is a busy day for Bouzy because I know he watches all these, and thank you. You know what? I appreciate a loyal viewer. And I could tell by his sharing that he must be a subscriber too, or something, because he knows that the shows are coming out. He shares a screenshot. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything. I mean, maybe I should make him a mod. Who knows? He's there for us. I love it. But yes, I understand though, Nate, and you went over this on your stream too, but you actually have now sent the cease and desist letter.
Yes.
And I think he's responded, right?
Yes. You have the responses?
I'm looking for it right now. Where did I put the thing? If not, you will have it soon. Wow. Sorry, it's been a crazy morning. Here it is. Bouzy responds. Copy link. Now, folks, I have to open, of course, in an incognito window because Bouzy has me blocked, as my t-shirt says. Oh, and guess who has blocked me now too, Nate?
Who?
Your friend, Cat Tinbarge.
Don't forget she's still she's still citing, what is it, minors from anonymous accounts.
Yep, it seems that way. And here we go. Now, Nate, you explained to me, and we talked about it because there was questions of why you would even bother sending out a cease and desist letter. You don't have to technically, right? In New Jersey, from what I understand. Yeah. But you were trying to do the right thing. So you want to go into what your motivation was to send it out no matter what, even if you didn't have to?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that you want the setup, you want it to be set up in a way where there's no doubt, right? If you can make your case stronger, then why not? Right. That's kind of the point of it, right? Why not make your case as strong as possible? So that was one of the reasons why you send out the cease and desist, is because, hold on one second. I'm hearing myself in the background. Let me turn this out. Sorry.
We don't hear an echo.
No, my I think my earphones. I hear my earphones in the background. Sorry. I'm like, I hear myself talk. It's just annoying. I got it. I cut it off. All right. So yeah, so the reason why we sent out the cease and desist is just clearly, right? We were part of the whole thing about this whole process of defamation and the process of, some of the other claims is the person, you have to let the person know two things. Number one, what you're saying is false, and here's the evidence why it's false. Think about
wait, Nate, stop everything. I guess I'm a moron for asking you. This is for everybody. Nate and I know exactly what's going on. We talk about this quite a bit, and everything I'm saying now, I believe he's already put out. Correct?
yes.
Yeah, thank you for pointing out my my loss of faculties.
So the reason, this is simply the reason why in most cases you would do this. Now, New Jersey is one of those cases where you don't have to do it. Some states force you to send a cease and desist. But some states don't. New Jersey is one of those states that doesn't force you to send a cease and desist. And at this point, you send it and you say, this is the reason why your statements are false. So now nobody can go into court and say, we didn't know or we didn't understand or anything like that. It's like, no, you absolutely know, right? We sent you a letter, we gave you the evidence, and you said it anyway. This a famous case that's going on now. Giuliani and what's her name? Sidney Powell.
Oh, Sidney Powell, yeah.
Yeah, they were sued by Dominion, and that's exactly what Dominion did. Dominion sent them a cease and desist, laid out exactly how all their statements are false, and then sued them after they continued to say the false statement. So that's essentially what the process is when you're talking about a defamation case.
So you're just doing the right thing. You're saying, hey, just in case he did not know remotely, even though it's obvious he didn't know, he was tweeting out ahead, you could send it out all day, blah, 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 blah. But as I brought it up before, he did answer. And now it's nice and clean. He said, I received the demand letter and it's embarrassing. So we'll go over your embarrassment of a letter. And he's threatening to sue Bot Sentinel and me for comments his client made, deleted tweets, Bot Sentinel rating, and my Twitter account's not linked to me. YouTube lawyers are not serious lawyers. And he's trying to make it political, of course.
I don't know what Twitter account's not linked to him means. I don't understand what that means. But
I don't know. I don't know either. There are rumors that he has, shall we say, sock accounts. Rumors. I cannot define or I cannot say for sure, but I hear that. I hear that a lot. And somebody said that there was a certain way you might be able to search them out too, that there's a common denominator. I'm not going to go into it here, but it's very interesting because I was like, yeah, he does say that a lot. Very peculiar turn of phrase that turns up in different accounts.
Oh, really? Does it?
Yeah.
I assume you're talking about your dipsy doodle thing.
Yeah.
Dipsy doodle, whoopsie doodle. What did he say? I forgot.
He says whoopsie doodle. Yeah.
Whoopsie doodle. Whoopsie doodle.
Wendy Shaw, this is actually a great question. What are sock accounts? Sock accounts are nothing more than a Twitter account created for the purpose of following people, bothering people, anything else that you're pretending that you're not yourself, if you will.
Yeah, it's instead of you going under your own account, you create a fake anonymous account. That's what they call them, a sock account. Like you put a sock over yourself and then act like it's not you. So.
And they can be amusing too because they have conversations with themselves. I love watching sock accounts talking to each other.
I think it's called sock because someone's like a sock puppet. It's
like a sock puppet.
It'll have two different faces, but it's the same hand moving it. So, yeah.
All right. So we got a few things. Joe got a little love here from the Japanese Izuka one.
Thank you, Jeff.
Joe's going to hold out as long as he can, Nate. And he's probably, I don't know if he's going to make it the whole show. It looks rough.
I did a show last night. This is one thing that really surprised me when I had Nate and Legal Mindset come on. It felt as if time was moving so slowly. Like normally I run through 2 hours and I don't even realize it. And yesterday, I'm like, wow, it's got to be like 10 to 12. And I look up and I'm like, it's 11:04? How is that really? I can't believe this. This feels like I've been here so long. And it wasn't because of the company. It was just so worn down, and I was just like, I can't believe how time is moving so slowly here. Have you guys ever noticed that when you're sick, time just moves in a different sort of way?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely weird. By the way, Nate, not only did he answer yours, but he doubled down on defamation.
Yeah, this is, again, this is
from this morning. So thank you for repeating the defamation. Or
this
some
is
of
what
it.
you want to do. As long as you tell them, this is it. You know. And again, this, I just don't think he's serious, because look at the way he handled the other lawsuit, running away from the process server. That's not somebody who's running a serious company, right?
No,
that's not somebody who's being.
He's working out of his kitchen, running away from process server like he's Benny Hill, running away from a couple of chicks at the end of a movie. It's like, he's like, he's like,
and I've dealt with people like this before. What happens is he just doesn't think it's going to happen to him. He thinks that he's so immune that they're not really going to sue me. They're not really going to do this. And he's sitting back there and just hopes and prays that it goes away. But he doesn't know it's not. It's just moving forward. And then when he gets the letter, like this is somebody who's not going to believe it. So when they get the letter in their hand, and they're like, "Oh my God!" Right? Oh my God! But we'll see when we serve him. We'll see if he's running around the house and not opening up the door and doing all that stuff. Then it'll show you exactly what whether he is as legitimate as he says it is.
Nate, I'm going to shock you and you, Joe.
Go ahead.
I hate to say this, but Chris Bouzy actually just did a decent thing.
Oh, what did he do?
He quote tweeted Tug's tweet. Somebody called CPS on Tug, and that is some evil stuff. And Bouzy just pointed out, don't do that. It's a bad thing. So don't like the guy, but again, if you did something right, you've done something right. And this actually is the right thing that he just did here. So, kudos. I will, still be critical and everything else, but if anybody does something right, I think it should be absolutely acknowledged that it is the correct thing to do. So, thank you for that. Yeah. Almost kills me to say it, but thank you for that.
Yeah. No, that's a good thing to do, and that's the right thing to do, right? Because this guy probably has kids too. I got kids. We all got kids, and no matter how bad this online stuff gets, again, this is it's just this, right? This is what we do. So we can fight, but you should never involve anybody's kids. That's ridiculous. And the fact that people are involved in the kids, and guess what account was saying that they should call CPS and get
the minor
investigate the kids.
The
Camilla account. The Camilla from Cat 10 Barge account was saying that. The account that she retweeted. Matter of fact, I should retweet that and tag her in it so she can say, hey, the account the person who you wrote the NBC story on is saying that people should false report people to CPS. Is this let's get a quote from you on that.
No, I totally agree. And by the way, to carry on with the whole thing of I hope everyone does notice it. We explicitly are being very specific in our criticism of him in his actions online. It's all about him, his bankruptcy, his issue. What are you looking at, Joe?
I just had like such an inspired thought from what Nate just said that I have to share it with you guys.
Please.
When we do like video, like if we do like a video like covering like some of these stories, we should reach out to like the cat and barges of the world and say, hey, I'm doing a story on you, Cat and Barge. I'm wondering about this. I'm wondering if you'd like to comment. And that way, and do to them what they are always doing. It's like, hey, I'm going to be doing a whole story on you. I just want to know if you want to like, give me your comments so I can give your perspective on things. And
are you going to give him a Taylor Lorenz deadline?
Yeah, exactly.
The 1 hour.
I'm
go live in an
hour from now. I'm going live in an hour covering this thing that involves you. I'm just wondering if you want to give any comment. And that way, like when they don't respond, you'd be like, and despite us reaching out, we reached out to Taylor Lorenz trying to get her feedback, and she refused to comment. So it's like just throw their own crap at them. I love it.
It's even better because we're blocked. So we invited Cat Tinbarge to come on and Chris Bouzy to come on, but for some reason They're not answering.
Yeah, for some reason.
Well, Chris,
For some reason.
I think Bouzy's the thing that he's probably most worried about now is bot Sentinel is being exposed for what it is.
Mhm.
It's being exposed for what it is. Like, think about it. Think about. He says on his website, bot Sentinel has a 95% accuracy rate.
Yes,
I know.
it takes 95% of hate counts and calls them normal.
Yeah.
That's what he needs to be worried about, because and it shows you too, the mainstream media at any point they could have had like, hey, listen, this guy, he works for this account bot Sentinel. Can you just do a quick background? The company just opened up in 2019, right after he filed for bankruptcy. Then how the hell is this guy? How do we know? And he doesn't have any credentials in the field. He doesn't have any machine learning experience, none of that stuff. So what? Okay, it must be crazy. You know what? Let's just test the account. Get some of the most craziest, weirdest accounts and put them inside there. Let's see what happens. Oh, they all are good. So yeah, something's wrong. Something just does not add up here. That's due diligence. If you're in the mainstream media, if people respect your reputation, that's due diligence. Even though you're saying this is an expert, you read some of his stuff. But I don't think they did any of that. I don't think they did any of that. I don't think they cared to do any of that.
Look at the lawyer here.
The
God.
allegedly working
he's
lawyer.
got the full lawyer, yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. Isn't that a legal term?
I think so. Definitely. It's totally proper.
All right. And while I've got you here, this is so fun because
Do you want to tell us about your criminal record, Rob? Like all those crimes you're always committing.
The chat trolled the living F out of me when because I chatted. I was like, I'm driving back from court. Like, I'll be on in a minute. The chat goes, don't speed. I was like, oh God.
Slow down. Slow down.
Yeah.
and as they should troll you. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Completely proper. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so a lot of this started 2 weeks ago today. I mean, it was a little before that, but with Rob reading about Mr. Bouzy's bankruptcy. And
right here on this show.
Right here. So everybody really should consider subscribing. I deeply appreciate it, because you never know what kind of ruckus may come up. I am trying to find a picture I have saved or open. We sometimes have too many windows open, and it's problematic, but I thought this was a good thing to talk about, which is kind of funny, because this sort of a lot of this escalated with Rob going through the bankruptcy situation with Christopher Bouzy, which he filed on August 19th, 2019. And the good news is, I don't know about the rest of you, but apparently when he is declaring bankruptcy right around the same time, he's actually donating to politicians. So how does that work? You declare bankruptcy because you can't pay your rent, but somehow he's able to donate on quite literally what was it? I think it was the same day or right about multiple donations.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you that first his roommate, I don't know, girlfriend, wife, whatever, Jennifer, filed bankruptcy in June, on like June 18th or June 17th of that year, 2019. And the next day when he was going through the whole saga story, because anything that happens to him, like a 14-year-old girl, he has to report it online to his followers. So he basically did this whole lengthy breakdown walking through his fight with his landlord. Mm-hmm. And in his update on June 18th, he said he referred to a legal trick that his lawyer did to get a stay on the eviction process. So, which is as close as anyone can get to admitting that the bankruptcy was not because of a lack of money, but purely to try and abuse court process in order to get a delay in the eviction proceedings.
Yeah.
And then when her bankruptcy died, the next day he filed bankruptcy himself. So this was my personal opinion.
Joe, you're wrong on one fact.
What's that?
It wasn't that he filed bankruptcy the next day himself. It's that when her bankruptcy was dismissed, the landlord brought the eviction proceedings back.
Mhm.
And the day before the new eviction proceedings were set to commence and he was supposed to be evicted, that's when he filed.
Thank you for the correction. Now that being the case, I think it's pretty evident this is not a matter of someone who couldn't pay their rent. It was someone who refused to pay their rent. Like, I don't, he's saying he couldn't afford it or whatever, but it's not that. This was, in my opinion, someone who was completely abusing the bankruptcy court for the purposes of getting the stay, rather than using it for what's needed for, that someone can't pay off their debts. But even when he filed for bankruptcy, his filings were incomplete. So, which is in itself a problem. So, yeah, so when you're sitting here saying, like, how could he afford to do this? I'm telling you, it's possible he's not as broke as he's claiming.
Oh,
and that this whole thing, and that this whole thing was a stall tactic. And if you ask me my opinion, that is my opinion, that's what he was doing. So, yeah, I mean, that's why it's not surprising to me he had the money to donate to others, because a lot of what's put in that bankruptcy filing, I have questions about. So.
But you know what, though, think about how messed up that is. He's living in someone's apartment. She's saying that it's a financial stress on her to be taking care of not only him but his family, and he's not paying rent. And instead of him doing the right thing, right? Instead of him doing the right thing by her and saying, "Hey, here's something," he's taking the money and giving it and donating it to political campaigns. That's messed up. It's so messed up.
I think he was offering 50%. So to be fair, I think he was giving something, but certainly not what he was supposed to be giving. And I don't know that he ended up giving the 50%.
Wasn't that was for like the first 2 months, because I know he was in there for 5 months. 3 of them were rent free.
Yeah.
So
From what I saw, he actually ended up losing that case. He doesn't tell that part of the story.
Yeah, he lost.
He's sitting there. Yeah. He's sitting there all excited about like how he got this day, and team Bouzy 1, scummy landlord 0. He doesn't give the updated score that, like, in the end, she kicked his ass. So I don't know. He's sitting there all proud of himself. He loves talking about the good moments in his life and doesn't really share very much about the parts where he gets exposed for being a loser.
Can I give you guys a lesson real quick? So this is, in case Bouzy is watching, this is how you accept service of process. The sheriff goes and knocks on the door of your office or dwelling, and you simply go out and meet the sheriff, and you pick up the paper, and the sheriff hands it to you. And you say, "Thank you, Sheriff, for dropping this off. I very much appreciate it. I'm going to respond accordingly."
Exactly, especially with the thank you and the little speech. That is definitely a requirement.
when you know the deputy that's dropping it off, it's not really a problem.
He probably does. Who knows how many times he's been served? Good God. Or attempted. From my understanding, that wasn't the only time people have attempted to serve him and had difficulty. That's the rumor, at least. But let's get some Bouzy bucks out of the way. Adam Trapp, MAGA lawyer, love it. And notice, everybody, how he's going right to that. And I'm going to share here in a minute. He's going after Ron Coleman as well this morning. Have you considered going after him for cyberbullying on top of the other stuff to have a harder case? Oh, that's right. New Jersey does have cyberbullying laws. Sue Smith had talked about that in a video. I forgot. I'm sure that he's bullied others. People can jump in. CB's always saying to show your work. Call him on it and ask that he open source software online. Yeah. Okay. That is kind of funny, Bucky, on multiple levels, because I personally question exactly what software he has. And part of the reason I question this is, Nate, you spent a chunk of time yesterday, and I believe a chunk of time this morning, going through. This was inspired by someone who had sent a tweet thread to me with like the most vile stuff in the world next to people's ratings.
Yes.
And in that thread, you got to see, literally like die N-word or whatever. Like, what was it? I think the first one was, okay, I hate N-word, and their rating was 0, perfect score.
Yeah, so these are some of the accounts, because Bouzy says that his thing says that 95% of the time, they can identify accounts that are violating Twitter's rules. And if you violate Twitter's rules, you're disruptive or whatever. So my account, for instance, is disruptive.
It was
because he says,
It's
but even
improved.
though I haven't said anything like this. So this one is the I hate the N-word one, right? Rating, normal, 16%.
Oh, it got worse. It was 0. If that's the one I thought.
This one says, and this one I looked at does do this, right? Just because I say the N-word, the F-word, the T-word hundreds of times per day, right? What do you think someone who says these words hundreds of times per day openly, right? I stand with Russia. 28%.
And by the way, these are both better than me.
I
I'm
am
slipping
more
along.
disruptive than either of these individuals.
Yep.
What about all these ones? I hate the eds. 8%. 19%. Or this one, stop being a F word. 7%. And this one's literally calling somebody the F word because they came out to their father and had this message and it's like, stop, you're a blank. What does it say? Time flies when you're a blank. 12%.
Time flies when you're a bundle of sticks.
This one denies the Holocaust. Joe, this is for you. They did not. It did happen. Holocaust is not. This Holocaust is fake. What do you think the rating is, Joe? What do you think the rating is, Joe?
Survey says
4%.
4%. He's at 5.
Oh man,
that was close. Hey, if this was what was that game show, he would have won probably. I was very close.
But it went over.
Come
Look
on
at
down.
Oh, and this one,
Price is Right.
these ones with the F blanks, right? Because I'm like, let me just put the worst possible things in here. Things that are these are clear violations of Twitter's policies, right? These account and this account, the second account, he does it like his whole tweet thread is this FDFs. The first one, he's at 25%. He's good. And the one that literally most of his tweets say this, he's at 37%.
wow.
So
This is the only one that's worse than me, I think.
So there's no way. So we don't know what these ratings are doing. Like you can literally go on Twitter right now and pull up any account that's violating Twitter's rules openly. Like these accounts are violating Twitter's rules openly, and they're found to be good. I don't know.
And by the way, please do so. And hashtag Bouzy 00 on this one, the clown. And make sure you share the tweet. Try to black it out or something though, and share the rating. Let's help him get famous. I mean, just think, Nate, he's losing business. So I think that we need to let everybody know that his business is out there.
But think about this though. Also, just so we're pretty clear, he's saying that his thing is a 95% rating. I think we've checked how many accounts? It's got to be over like I think 100, 100 or 200 accounts. None of them are like. There's only 2 that we found that were correct. Two. It is insane. So, I'm assuming what happens is that he created a nice little account. He created a nice little website. He goes in the back and labels all these, these accounts are bad, these accounts are good. And now it's coming to fruition that, hey, the worst accounts, even the bot accounts, the worst accounts on Twitter, he rates them as good. Who knows? Who knows what is going on behind the scenes at this point in time?
What if we did a search on hashtag Mike Amber Heard is a liar and looked at some of those accounts?
Ooh, that'd be good.
I'm just
Why
curious.
do I get the
Meghan
impression
Markle.
you've already done that?
I actually haven't. This is live, so I could get completely proven wrong now.
All right, yeah.
I don't know.
Supposedly, he's all about protecting Meghan Markle, so that's really where you should focus.
I don't know what the hashtag is for
Yeah,
her,
but
though.
here's the funny thing about the protecting Meghan Markle. Half the thing he says about the Meghan Markle stuff is that it's people that go after her are inherently racist. That's what he says about all of them. And you figure that dropping the N-bomb in your Twitter thread would get you a little bit higher score than someone who's going after Meghan Markle.
Multiple times, right?
I didn't see that, by the way. That one caught me off guard. I was not watching yesterday.
Oh my god, it's insane. It's just it's insane. But what do you expect? I think this is the real issue. I think this is the real issue.
Oh, I think it's a big issue.
Look at this. When you look at bot
Oh,
Sentinal,
here we go. Right on schedule.
Hold on, check this out. His hate tracker. You see this hate track over here? This is the only thing. This is the only hate he's tracking. Harry and Meghan and Amber Heard.
There we go. Nate, by the way, I just did that. Right now, trending is Amber Heard is an abuser. So I clicked that hashtag on the trend. First account I looked up for the very first tweet, 60% disruptive.
So share it. Let's see it.
All right, hang on. Let me share that window. Oh, boy. I have too many windows, folks. This is we're obviously the professional YouTubers here. But Sentinel, and here is the account I looked up.
Woo.
Very psycho, 60% disruptive. And it was quite literally, all I did was go to trending where it said Amber Heard is an abuser, just clicked it. And went no further. Very first one.
Wow.
Very first one.
That's
So,
what that's what all
it.
this is about. All of this is, it's a fugazi. It seems like a fugazi, but we won't know until we get further into the process. But this just none of this makes sense. It's funny because usually you have some professionals that say, "Oh, it's possible sometimes, possible other times." Everybody who's in the know says the same thing. None of this.
Here's the second one. I won't do it all forever, but I love it when it's low hanging fruit like this.
Oh yeah, let's do the second one.
Survey says, "Come on, go."
What did I miss, people?
Oh, problematic. Second one.
That's great.
Second one.
That's great.
But that's insane. So the accounts that are saying the worst possible things are good, but the accounts that are saying Amber Heard's an abuser are the ones this is insane.
You can
This
do
is
everything. You can do
insanity.
anything you want except for make fun of Amber Heard or Meghan Markle. Like anything you want to do, go ahead and do it. Just don't make fun of Amber Heard or Meghan Markle.
Okay, somebody's saying to search for Meghan Markle is a bully. So let me look at that one.
Is a
you
bully?
see,
That's
I
it? Like that sounds really offensive and terrible, and I would hate to see that on the internet anywhere. Calling someone a bully?
We got liar and grifter, and Markle is a bully. All right. We'll go with the first one here.
I'll just say I noticed that my bot Sentinel rating has gone down by 2%.
Mine's going up for some reason.
Down as in
Steadily.
better or down as in worse?
Down as in, well, I consider better to be towards the red side, but in all of my stuff,
satisfaction. Still worse than mine.
Eric, check me up. Last time I was 30%, and I think the time before that I was 28%.
Let's look.
And I know that I've been a little bit mean to Justin Trudeau these days, so let's just see.
Well, Justin's not on his protection
Yeah,
list.
he's not Amber Heard and Meghan Markle.
Okay,
Wait, you might be doing better than me now. Hold on.
He is doing better than me.
How do I get the chat here? I want to see what's going on. All right, there we go.
Let me see. Oh, yeah, see? I'm steadily moving up. I think it started at 27 or 29. And I'm just eking along.
So
I think I'm locked at 28. I'm locked at 28.
How am I? Look at everyone in the chat. Look at the screen of people that are here. How am I the worst one?
No, you're not. No, you're not. Hold on. No, you're not. Nate is the worst one still.
What's Nate?
I'm still
now?
the worst. Am I over 50 again?
No, you're not. But you're just under it. 47. You're getting better, Nate.
Okay. All right. Nate's beating me. This is
Look at this one. Normally AYA. So I literally typed something. I can't even say it. I literally typed the most vicious, horrible thing that you can say to a person on Twitter. And there's a lot of tweets that came up. This account was tweeting this thing. And if you guys want to look, just look at this account. And this is this account's rating. Good. I just don't know what this rating system is. It just
is the working theory that he's literally on the payroll of two particular agents and that this entire scheme is set up to besmirch people who are critical of Meghan and Amber Heard
and Hillary and Kamala. He went after them first.
Well, look at this, Viva. Just to show you that point. This is the front page of the bot Sentinel account, and you see where the hate tracker is. And when you open up the hate tracker, you see these two things. That's it.
Those are the two things that they're tracking for hate.
That's all the hate in the world.
Well, then don't call it bot Sentinel. Call it. Oh, I had such a great. I can't say it. I don't know if that's going to be too edgy of humor.
Oh, it says look at the view profile. The words are there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me just.
Oh, I see. Okay. So Nate, go ahead and hit view profile. Let's see what you're dinging for, so we all know what to hit.
For me,
we need to know the hashtags to get our ranking up.
Oh, for my account.
Profile. Yeah.
Oh, for
it's
the Amber Heard stuff.
Oh wait, you're on my screen. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Make
Okay,
somebody
so
a co-host and they run amok. All right, here's your problematic phrases.
Amber Heard.
Wait
Amber
a minute,
Heard.
what? There's a
Alex
screen for you
Jones.
guys now?
Oh man, I've gone up to 30%.
Hold on. Let me
Viva Fry is a problematic phrase.
What? Oh, put them up there. Let's see.
Put them up there.
Wait, what does that mean?
Zoom in.
Viva
I
Fry
can't
is a
see
problematic hashtag?
No, it's not a hashtag. It's a phrase.
That son of a bitch.
Oh, look at pay your damn rent is there.
Oh my God.
Hey, I did it. Bouzy the clown made the list, guys.
Bouzy,
so hold
where's
on.
Wood,
I
Bouzy,
think-
where's Wood Daddy Stack?
I think I can make the joke. I've looked up what thought means, and a thought means a woman who has many casual sexual encounters or relationships. So
Yeah, T-Hot.
my joke is, if this is supposed to protect Amber, they should change it from Bot Sentinel to Thought Sentinel.
Oh.
You know what? I should have just shut my mouth when I thought of the joke.
Oh,
No,
God,
that's
Viva.
good.
I like that. I like that.
I can't-
Hashtag Thought Sentinel.
I can't believe you're only at 30%. You crazy.
I can't, no, apparently, maybe Bouzy doesn't like Trudeau any more than I do.
Well, now I got to go back to mine since I can
By the
analyze
way,
accounts because
It is an abbreviation for, I think, that hoe over there. That's
Yes.
why thought comes from.
I did not know that, and now
There you go.
I shouldn't go to the Merriam-Webster.
phrases. Oh God, Canadian lawyer EricHunley. Interesting. So I like that.
I was
Wait.
reading. I'm reading the
Individual
definition.
judgment.
So wait,
Wait,
these
am
are
I a bad
phrases-
guy? Where the hell is this stuff? Where were you looking?
Yeah, what are you looking
It's
at?
when you click your name, it tells you the phrases you're looking for. Okay, this is just over. Oh, this looks like. Let me see. The 2-word phrases are commonly tweeted. Where's my Bouzy the clown?
I'm reading the definition.
I started it. Come on.
I'm sorry. It's Oxford Languages, by the way. Derogatory, informal, a woman who has many sexual encounters or relationships. Then you go underneath Urban Dictionary, a female that uses her body in some way to gain attention or some favor from males. Thought is slang for, this is in another dictionary.com. My goodness, this is quite hilarious.
Rob, hey guys. It's one of Rob's.
Seriously?
Hey guys.
Well, at least I'm
That's what-
original.
I don't know if I'm looking at. I don't know if this is actually critical of using the phrases. Just you type it a lot, apparently,
I
or
don't think I've
commonly
typed-
is.
I'm looking
I
at
have no
First
idea.
Amendment. I don't think I've typed that once.
I don't know.
Dude, I've been on Twitter since May. Or
Shut up.
yes, Viva.
Well, you're you're no longer a Twitter virgin, that's for sure. You are a wrong
Look at us.
thinker.
Look at his follower count. Jesus, not bad for since May. 78,000 followers. Yeah, I know. I just joined Twitter, and everybody's just following me everywhere.
Easy Tiger.
Good Lord. All right, so who are we going to look at? I love, Nate, that you. I don't know if it's tied in with you because I don't think you've ever typed Bouzy the Clown. Have you, Nate?
No, I haven't typed it in. I might have to type it in.
So it's, I think, associating with you being mentioned in tweets with that hashtag.
Oh,
Because I am not showing it. Like if we view your profile, I swear I saw Bouzy the Clown earlier. Oh no, it's the hashtags. Here we go. Right here. So let's go in.
oh no, I did tweet that out. That's true. I did tweet that out. I
went
remember
up.
now.
I went up
Because
from
you had asked me
28
to, remember?
30.
Once.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we made the list. Everybody, this is a group participation thing. Everybody should be looking things up on their own. But you're shaming literally the whole joke of quote program that we see here. I mean, it's so obvious. And Nate, I don't think, as I told you on the side, you were like, "Oh, he's scrambling to fix it." I'm like, you can't fix it. You have to have an actual algorithm, an actual machine learning going on in order to fix it. Otherwise, he's just playing whack-a-mole with a spreadsheet.
But is that not exactly what he's doing? I mean, this is a very goal-oriented platform, and then he just puts in the words manually to get the results he wants.
I mean, at this
what
point
it
in
looks
time,
like.
he literally doesn't care. Like, we're talking about this right now, like he actually cares or actually wishes to alter any of this. He doesn't care. Like, we're driving traffic to his website. He's going to go out and spin his version of it or his narrative of it. People are going to believe him. He's going to block everyone else that doesn't. I mean, he won't care until a lawsuit shows up at his front door, and even then he'll probably try to dodge and evade service. Look at what he did. You know, you guys were talking about the demand letter, the cease and desist letter.
Mhm.
One thing you didn't mention that litigators do all the time. Sometimes I will send an email to opposing counsel that is full of inflammatory language, things that are accusatory, etc., because I know that opposing counsel has to share that with their client. Because I know that their client is going to go out and do something perhaps a little bit foolish. A cease and desist letter, look at what he did with it. He went and tweeted out how many tweets did he send after receiving that thing? 20? How many are still up?
I don't know. God, they come up and down so quickly, but let's go. Let's actually, you know what? Let's go look at that thread because
who do you have on the inside that's screen grabbing all of these tweets?
You can't tell him that. You can't show that.
Well, I mean, let me rephrase. Okay, never mind. You know, I won't ask.
we don't have specific people or anything like that.
Well, because I guess you could just. You can see it if you log in unsigned in, right? You can follow that way. You just can't interact.
Well, that's what I'm doing now is private windows and whatnot. But okay, here we go with it. His continuation on the thread. But then he's also talking about, sorry, let me go back to his account here. That's his pinned tweet. His pinned tweet is essentially £. So thank you very much. That looks like a response to me that, you know, he got a cease and desist. He has acknowledged publicly that he received it. And now he said, to hell with you. And what I love here, Rob, is, you know, speaking of dumb things, he posted the video. I think it was underneath on this thread. One of the same defaming videos.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, like he just, it's perfect bait. It's just, you throw it out there and it's there's no way he can resist it. He can't. It's not possible. If I'm his lawyer, it's like Alec Baldwin talking to the press. It's like you just can't stop him from doing it.
We were talking about that on this show a while ago. How when you have Alec Baldwin out there, if he's my client, I'd be like having like an electric jolt thing that's attached to his body. That every time he just starts going, and let me tell you, it's also it'd be like, let me tell you. Like just shock him because he can't shut his mouth. And Chris Bouzy, he must be a nightmare client.
Well, he doesn't have a lawyer.
No, so I was going to say, is he represented by counsel or is he pro se typically?
He had counsel.
Got to be able to.
No. Well, look, this is an hour ago. Okay, so now he's going after Nate's lawyer, Ron Coleman. Ron Coleman is amplifying the big lie. See, here we go. He's trying to make it all political.
The big. Someone should tell Bouzy that the big lie is a Hitlerian term, and using it on Ron Coleman could be, arguably itself improper use of language. The use of the term "the big lie." I don't think people really appreciate the origins of the term, but it was literally a Hitlerian trope to refer to the conduct of the Jews back in the 30s to justify Hitlerian policy. So really? People using it unironically don't necessarily know the history, but they should.
I love this. By the way, Ron changed his header to Christopher Bouzy's profile, which I think is beautiful. And what a perfect,
Ron. That's
perfect,
good. That's a total Ron move too.
I love it though because I agree. I agree with Bouzy here. Every person who donated to Nate is getting everything they deserve. Yes, Nate, you're doing a fantastic job. Have I told you that? You're showing receipts. You're going after him. I'm so glad I donated to you. So I feel like I'm getting absolute value for my money.
Double the money.
And with this little addition of Bouzy pointing it out, boy, I feel like I'm getting even more for my money. So thank you. Thank you, Nate. Good job.
Yeah. Can you scroll up to Coleman's profile again? I just got to see this.
Oh, where'd it go? Did he delete? Oh, here it is.
Oh, that is funny.
I mean, like of all attorneys, Ron Coleman is quite literally the definition of giving 0 Fs. Like you're not going to disturb him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and here we go. They got Yankee Walleyed again. Here we go.
What is Yankee Wally being?
He's trying. This is what I love. He's, I guess, pointing out that the anti-Megan accounts, so that would be the Megxit accounts or whatever, are complaining behind the scenes about Nate the lawyer bizarre demand letters. It's a bizarre demand letter. You have to pull that up, Nate, so we can share.
Hey there.
And,
this is so pathological. This is delusional. Like,
Hey there.
Trying to manipulate people. This is abusive personality behavior. Trying to manipulate into anger.
Yeah. Well, the problem is
tiny
that
PP energy.
this is all he actually has. Just so everybody, Bouzy presents himself as this, Fortune 500 CEO, but the real Bouzy, for instance. Do you mind if I show the documents for when he
Hey, Todd, check your DMs, please. Check your DMs on Twitter.
So here is when he was trying to be served by John. What's his name? His name is John Goodman. Because Goodman,
Jason Goodman.
Jason Goodman. I'm sorry, for those who know, Jason Goodman has a current lawsuit against Bouzy for defamation, and this is in January. So this is what the process server says happened. The defendant in this case clearly, with the defendant clearly present in the home during all three of my service attempts, he demonstrated clear evasive behavior, which would make personal service extremely difficult. His Twitter tweets, one of which occurred during my first attempt, include a photo of me outside his home, demonstrating that Mr. Bouzy has a clear and actual knowledge of this lawsuit and personal service attempts. His online presence also presents as someone who is at home and online for 12 to 16 hours each day, if authorized by the court electronic service, because they're trying to say. So what they did was they tried to serve him 3 times, and the first time he actually called the cops on the process server and then tweeted out. Here's the tweet. He tweeted out. I wasn't going to tweet this, but it is relevant. Ongoing events. He literally tweets out the cop. He called the cops, and the cops, here's the process server, and the cops are checking out the process server. And he's just been avoiding service, calling the cops, won't answer the door. And when you read through this doesn't seem like someone who has it all together. This seems like someone who's afraid to be exposed. And this guy Goodman is like playing poker. He's calling. The first attempt at 1:10 p.m. Mr. Bouzy responded to the doorbell, identifying himself, but refusing to open up the door. Why? Because he didn't want the papers to be handed to him. Stated that he doesn't open the door for anyone.
Liar.
And they can't slip it under the door, Nate, or tape it to the door if they know someone's inside. Well,
there's a process. First, you try to do personal service 3 times, but if the person's being evasive, then the last step is to what they call nail and mail. You nail it to the door, and then you send the certified mail. That's what they did here. But so but you have to make good faith attempts to personally serve.
Have they updated this way? Has the states, or I don't know what this is in, where's Goodman suing? In New York?
Yeah, Southern District.
Is there any, they can petition for permission to serve by email, correct? Or by notice if they need to?
Yeah, they did, but now the court hasn't ruled whether service is good or not from what I'm looking at. So right now there's still an open question on whether this service was good. But here are the 3 things, because eventually they tell you got to make good faith attempts. So this is what they did in this case to make these good faith attempts. So he was at the door after returning to my car to take notes. Multiple North Bergen PD vehicles entered the dead-end street, parked, and approached my vehicles. They stated that they had received the complaint. Bouzy called the cops, and he tweeted out that he called the cops from a neighbor about suspicious behavior. After I explained my legitimate purpose for civil process, the officers left the scene at approximately 1:45 p.m. Later, via the defendant's Twitter post, I discovered the defendant had called essentially police, and had taken photos of myself and officers from inside his home at the same time. I made a second attempt before officers left, but again, he refused to answer the door. And then they go through again with they try again 2 days later, and then the next day they tried again, and he was inside but wouldn't open the door. And that's why and then last thing they did was the whole nail and mail. They mailed it to the door and then sent it certified mail. So here's the mailing at the door. After he was just evasive and wouldn't open the door, even though he's inside the house, they literally, where's it at? Where is it? Here's the nail and mail. So here it is, the door. and that's them nailing it to the door.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
literally nailing. We don't literally nail the door.
Yeah, it's taped it. Yeah, and then then they send it certified through snail mail. So that's what happened. But that's the point. The key point to this though is that if this is such a legitimate business, why? And he's the registered agent for Bot Sentinel too. So he is supposed to get service as the registered agent for the company. There's something up here. Why would he evade service so desperately for someone who has money, who has stature, and who has a company that's legitimate? I just don't understand it. Usually you take it and hand it to your lawyers, but I don't think he's at that level. I don't think he's.
It's not like maybe he's not at that level. I mean, just imagine Jeff Bezos running around his house trying to avoid service. Imagine anyone. Imagine any real company, like people saying, "We're not here. We're not like." It's like, and not only does he do it, he's so oblivious that he thinks this is something to be proud of. Like he's like bragging about it. Like on Twitter, he doesn't brag about his losses. He doesn't even realize that this act itself is a loss, and that's just humiliating. I mean, the guy is a walking joke. Bouzy is a clown.
I mean, you think about that. I've had to wait until Halloween to get someone served, where someone brought their kid with them and served him because that was the only time they could get into the building and get the guy to open the door because he was opening the door to give candy out. Wow. Like some of these people dodge service, and some of these process servers are really clever. Like they're smart. But
I don't understand why you can't just nail and mail. I don't understand. When I hear these stories, I'll tell you, I don't understand these stories. Some like just go 3 times, they don't answer, you nail and mail, and
if the judge doesn't support it, Joe, what are you going to do? I mean,
you don't need a judge to support it. This is what I don't understand. In the CPLR, you don't need a judge to support it. It's written right there in the CPLR. The guy doesn't answer to come to the door. You try 3, you make 3 good faith attempts. You document your attempts. You actually have to show that you were there on the time. These process servers have these GPS things to mark where they were at a certain time, so they can prove that they came there in the times, and that they're not just pretending they weren't there, but they can prove that they were there. And then the 3rd time, they just nail it to the door and drop it in regular mail, and you're done. And that's it. And the guy's considered served. So I don't understand these stories. Like, it's like, why do you have to sit there getting a clown suit or a Halloween thing? Like, it's a weird thing to me. Maybe it's just unique to New York that you can do it.
It also depends on what the cause of action is. Like the one that I had to get personal service on was a rule to show cause, a motion for contempt, because there's a possibility of actual contempt finding and you being incarcerated. You have to actually physically give it to them.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's
definitely.
By the way, Nate, I just saw Bouzy keeps giving, and he's out there tweeting. Apparently, he's quoting a non-lawyer who I guess has torn up your C&D letter. So if you want to go through the
yes,
I mean, I have some real lawyers here, and you can point out how badly it is done here. So this person is Catherine Tucson.
Oh yeah, she's part of the whole law Twitter. She's very big. She's a very big follower on the law Twitter.
Oh, nice.
So,
Catherine Tucson.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, it says, okay, let's do this, I guess. Fair warning. I know absolutely nothing about any of the background here except that Bouzy runs Sentinel, and Nate admitted to behavior that plausibly supports the inference he planted.
I know nothing except for that Nate admitted that he did something wrong. They're end of defamation. Let's move on from let's move on from the premises.
Oh, and there is drama. Oh my God, so much drama. Cute.
I can't.
Okay, right.
Let's do this.
And I'm not a lawyer. If you get a C&D, don't rely on what some chick on the internet says about it, unless it's you, Catherine. Ask an actual lawyer in the relevant jurisdiction. Anyway, it's late. Let's get to it. I'm working from someone else's screenshots of the PDF. Sorry if it's blurry. Here we go. Right off the bat.
Catherine, do you not know the difference between deletion and retraction, which would be delete it and then formally retract the statement that you had already made? Deleting is but one part of it. Oh, how can you retract if you delete it? Easy. I've deleted it, and now I formally retract the statement that I deleted.
Yeah, and people fail to realize before there was the internet, there was defamation. So let's say I stand on a stage and I say this defamatory statement one time out loud, right?
Yep.
That's still defamation. You can't just say, oh, well, he only said it one time and deleted it. No, you said it That's the defamation. The retraction isn't Twitter. It's not doesn't save you because you deleted it. The retraction, as in some states actually have a requirement to do that. You guys have to ask for retraction. So this is just don't understand the difference between, like you're saying, deleting something and retracting a statement.
This is funny though. This is literally my show partner Mark Robert on America's Untold Stories. His biggest pet peeve is when people go correcting him and they're wrong. That sets him off so quickly. So here we go. Catherine is correcting the cease and desist letter, and the very first point she makes out the gate is already wrong, already incorrect. So we're dealing with a legal genius here, it appears. But I'll leave it to the lawyers again. I'll shut up now. All right. So let me see. Number 2. Oh, and also, way to start off establishing your potential plaintiff as a public figure in the first sentence. That'll go great for sure.
What are you going to do? Are you going to deny? You're going to deny a fact? Try to pretend that Nate's not a public figure. Try to be deceitful in your letter of demand. Way to go! That'll go well. Nate is not a public figure. Therefore, actual malice does not come into play.
He has 250,000 subs for crying out loud. You're going to say he's not a public figure?
Way to telling the truth is a bad start, according to Kat. Okay.
All right.
But to revisit the retraction part. The retraction doesn't fix the defamation. Even if you retract it, you haven't fixed the defamation. You've just tried to mitigate some of the harm you did.
Yes.
So, like deleting it, you don't fix it. You say it, it's done. You did it.
All right. Next bit is actually kind of promising. These are the sort of things that could plausibly actually establish a defamation claim. Let's see how it goes. I don't even know if she knows what defamation claim is. Geez. Sorry, I have to zoom in and out to get it to fit.
So she's
all right. Beginning on that date and continuing until the present, you have falsely claimed on Twitter that Mr. Brody has lied about his credentials, professional experience, media attention, and other matters affecting his personal and professional reputation. You have also falsely stated Mr. Brody has engaged in criminal conduct and stated or implied he is currently engaged in criminal or fraudulent conduct. In addition to demanding deletion or retraction of these public statements, we write to place you on clear notice of the truth concerning these matters, with the caveat that our immediate concern is the most serious and harmful of these defamatory statements, and the failure to include any others is in no way an admission of their truth.
Okay.
But Legal Scholar says that that's good. Good job. It's kind of promising. You're starting to establish a defamation. So I'm glad that you guys are passing the muster. Nate, good job.
Let's just see some of the concrete statements. That's what we need to see right now. She's getting to it. Okay. She's wasted 6 tweets, and I have a short attention span. I already tuned out her Twitter
Well, this is the guy who, what was it, put a GoPro on a squirrel. So yes, we understand.
Very short attention span, getting very irritated here. Let's do this.
There's not a lot of specificity in the first claim there. And then he goes on to say, but I guess you already took that down, so never mind, my bad. And then includes a screenshot of a different tweet, so weirdly cropped that it's unintelligible. Nate, do you want to pull the thing up? And
what's the...
So we can dispute the claim, but it might be easier than my trying to zoom in and out. And I can keep this going. We can go back and forth between them.
Pull the thing? Okay, cool. Give me a second.
Again, I'll be back in 1 second. Now, by the way, I said I was going live at 1:30, and I might overlap with you guys a bit. My apologies. I will not be talking about Bouzy.
You bastard.
Sorry, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot, Eric. I said I would never do it again, and I did it again. But that's because the
now watch him go live again at 5:32 tonight.
No, that's the guy. My window is 1:30 to 3:30 today.
Are you going to come on with us tonight, man?
If I can do it without getting.
All right. Well, it's Baldwin.
Are you okay, by the way, Viva? How are things going in Florida for you?
We're good. The hurricane went around the west to the north, but my goodness, you see what goes up up north. It's
it's crazy.
It's destruction. It's
I didn't even know. Logic actually asked me to ask you. She was the one who's just like, Viva's in Florida. You should find out how he's doing. And I was like, wow.
It's like. You imagine like a god tracks a finger and people are spared here, and then 50 miles north, destruction.
Oops, sorry. Yeah.
And then we're going to see what we can do to help the people up north. But
okay, so Nate,
go ahead. Let me place mine up. Sorry.
Your first claim, they're saying not a lot of specificity in the first claim there. Then you go on to say, but I guess you already took that down, so never mind, my bad. And then includes a screenshot of a different tweet, so weirdly cropped that it's unintelligible. So can we look at the...
How is that weirdly cropped? How's that
So
weirdly cropped?
This is the tweet. Oh, she may be talking about his, like, you know how on Twitter they crop the, like, he's quoting himself. He's the picture, and that's weirdly cropped. But his tweet isn't weirdly cropped. It's the tweet that he was tweeting about. But that's how it looks on Twitter. This is exactly how it looks.
And where did you say my bad? That you took it down and never mind, my bad?
That's what she said. She's saying that he took down. She's still under the impression that because he took down other defamatory tweets, then that makes it that then those aren't defamatory.
No, he's claiming that you said that you said, but I guess you already took that down, so never mind, my bad.
Right. No, I didn't say that. There's no way here that.
Well, that's where I'm looking for, because he said that.
No, she's paraphrasing. She's paraphrasing the first part of that. You evidently deleted these tweets, and then she's adding, my bad.
Yeah, as if to mock him, that like, why are you complaining about it once it's deleted? Because she ignorantly doesn't understand that the fact that he deleted it is not a remedy to the situation.
The defamation, yeah. But she already said she's not a lawyer, so we understand that she's going to miss that.
She's not a lawyer. She just plays one on Twitter.
Nate, this is important. Chris Bouzy is amplifying her tweet thread for his case. So we're helping with a little bit of legal advice, right? Or you guys are. I mean, this is his legal scholar.
Not legal advice.
That he's not treating that like legal advice, because if she's giving legal advice to him, then that might get her in some trouble about unauthorized practice of law. If she's advising him on the merits of a cease and desist letter and saying, don't worry about this, Mr. Bouzy, there is no merit to this because I've analyzed it, and as you're not attorney, I'm unauthorized to practice law in this state, and you can take my advice.
She did say she was an attorney.
She also did say, don't take the advice of some chick who's not a lawyer on Twitter. So
we'll give her that, but we're still going to mock her.
Yeah.
Because that's fun. All right. Here's the first tweet being referenced. As far as I can tell, I can't see any way in which this is an admission of falsity.
What?
What?
You missed the top half.
Yeah. So I think what she's not understanding, she's not reading the document. I think she's just maybe not understanding what the tweet is supposed to show. Like,
Nate,
here,
why don't you help? Let's help her out. The specific defamatory statements.
All right. So just to be clear, here it is. It says you evidently deleted these tweets, of which we have screenshots. But instead of claiming you made an error on September 18th, you published a tweet in which you admitted you were aware of the truth when you made the false and defamatory statements that Mr. Brody was not really a lawyer, but willfully published these false statements anyway. And that's what this was, because remember, he was saying I wasn't a lawyer, and people were like, no, you idiot, we found it. You looked in 3 minutes. And then he wrote, because people were giving him shit about it, like, you idiot, you couldn't find it. He put, or you are just unable to read between the lines. I already had the information.
Meaning he knew. I was when he tweeted things out, he knew he was a lawyer and still pretended he wasn't for some stupid thing about being accused of doxing or something like that.
And I was waiting for someone else to tweet it so I would not be accused of doxing. Reread the thread slowly. That's why. So yes, so just so this person understands, Bouzy was saying I was not a lawyer, I was not an attorney, I was not all this, I was not a prosecutor. And then later, when he was called out for being too stupid to find, he said, no, he already knew those things were false, but said them anyway because he wanted to try to get me doxxed. So this is clearly saying I defamed him. I knew I defamed him. And, and this
reckless disregard for the truth. That's basically what he's admitting to.
Yeah. But
he's admitting to the actual malice right there.
That's the actual malice.
But apparently she doesn't realize that's an admission of falsity. I think we lost someone here.
Yeah, I think we lost Eric.
We lost Eric. It's okay. It's my stream now. Actually, I have all the control. I can remove Joe. I can bring Joe back. I can remove Nate. Now I'm in control. I have all the power.
Beautiful.
What the heck is going on here?
There we go. Nate has the power too. No.
So Nate, now you know that the letter of demand has been served. You know this for a fact now. What's the next step? So how long does he have to retract? I didn't see the letter.
Well, he has till Monday, but he says he's not retracting. So obviously, he supposedly has till Monday, but we're probably going to be moving on this pretty quickly because again, if he's running from pro se process servers, so the case that is not even half as good, then I'm assuming the problem here is probably going to be service. It's going to be hell to serve this guy, and then eventually we get to serve him. We'll see what happens. Oh, he's got a power outage.
Yes, it's a power outage. I deliberately sabotaged Eric's stream so that all of you can. Wait a minute. Okay, because Eric is now in line with. It's going to be a tropical storm.
Yes, well, that's what's coming up here to us too.
Oh, okay.
But the problem is Bouzy doesn't understand. You have to develop a case, and I think a lot of people don't understand when you're litigating. You develop cases. It doesn't. Sometimes you'll get some facts, and you're like, all right, we got to kind of dig more deeper into this and try to understand some of the nuances. Like the last defamation case that I had, at beginning, I don't think we had enough to prove defamation. But then after we got all our ducks in a row, it was like, it was clear, and we had a great settlement.
You have a prima facie basis for a legitimate claim as it is, and then you'll establish further ill intent if and when you get to discovery to establish, what are his text messages showing him? What does he know that he's not disclosing when he makes these statements? Is he saying, yeah, I know Nate didn't mean any of those things that he was saying the way I'm saying it, but I'm going to do it anyhow because it's good for internet drama. You'll not amplify, but rather you'll make your claim more robust.
Well, when you get the complaint I have everything pretty much structured exactly what we were saying, and then that's like trying to legally evaluate a cease and desist. It's really about the intent element of defamation, right? What's and some states actually require it, but in New Jersey it's about the intent element. How can you prove the person actually knew what they're saying was false? And that's kind of what the cease and desist helps you with, right? They knew, and then you pray to God they say it again, and when they do, then you have something. That's what Dominion did. Dominion did that with Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell. They couldn't get them when they initially said it because they were public figures and all that. They had to overcome the mens rea element, and they sent that extremely detailed cease and desist saying, here is the reason why we weren't working with Hugo Chavez and this and then they were able to sue after they both said it again. So, and I think Giuliani's I think they're going to trial with those cases too. Those defamation cases are going to trial.
I wish people understood that when you see court or when you see trial on TV, you quite literally are seeing 1/5, 1/10 of the work that goes into a case. It's like when you watch a show on opening night, like you watch a performance on opening night and you don't really see all of the dress rehearsals, all of the work, the casting, the setup, everything that was done prior to that performance. So this is just one piece of a puzzle that's going to be 1,000-piece puzzle.
Yeah. Gentlemen, I'm going to duck out, but I'm not trying to pull any. You can catch up with me later after their stream, everybody. Nate, Law and Lumber, Good Logic, Hunley, be well. Godspeed through the storm.
Take care, brother.
Yeah, all right, I'll see you soon. How do I get
tornado?
This one we know how to get out of. What happened to the wire thing? You don't use the wire thing anymore?
I used the wave here and there. I had one though where I was like everything just went wonky, and when I bring Nate on anymore because he's got like this just massive following, I'm like, okay, well, StreamYard can handle more comments. So, and then I made, well, maybe it wasn't a mistake, but I managed to make him and Rob both co-hosts on this. So I don't know. It's like, was it really weather or was it my co-host?
I feel so excluded. It's so awful.
As you should. As you should.
It's even sadder when you're sick making that statement. You're like, I feel so excluded.
I'm sad. Oh. But
it feels like I've been here for like 6 hours. This has been going so slow.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's about 1:30. I gotta get out of here at 1:30. So
we're gonna be wrapping up here soon. Especially, I've got a tornado watch, so we'll see what happens.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Seriously.
You have a tornado watch coming at you?
Yeah.
Well, tornado watch means that they've seen a tornado, right?
No, a warning.
There's a warning.
Warning means that it touched down.
Warning means it's touched
watch
down.
means there's conditions for it.
All right.
And we did have a tornado here a few years back that was about 2 blocks away from me.
Ooh.
And I didn't know until but it's like, oh wow. Ooh. not a fun day.
I just hope it doesn't mess with my game. Like on Fridays we have Motions Day, but this particular Friday,
Ah.
Is that like a real team or something?
I had to rep my wolf pack.
Okay.
Who is that?
NC State. They play Clemson tomorrow. Allegedly, if the weather behaves.
If the weather holds up.
All right. Well, let's get through the rest of your cease and desist that is obviously incomplete. I'd have to find all of her tweet, the tweet thread again because, well, I lost everything. But let's get through it. I think we've proven that she doesn't know what the hell she's talking about.
She's a perfect compliment to law Twitter.
The Nick's bane of existence. I know Nick always hated it. He's like, law Twitter.
So
no, he's owning LawTube now. Somebody made him Pope, and so now he owns it. He's like, I'll kick you out.
Yeah, you know what? Nick said he actually did. It wasn't an evasion ban, because the account is actually owned by another company.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So it's not ban evasion because this original account he owned, but the other account was actually owned by LLC. So he was just operating on their behalf. So Bouzy them getting them, the LLC may actually have a claim to say, hey, that wasn't even his account. That was our account.
Well, that's a good point.
I don't know if Bouzy had anything to do with it, though. I mean, other than the fact that
he's bragging on it.
He's bragging on it.
And odds are that he probably
right
did. I mean, him and his Twitter employees that are his buddies that he talks about. Yeah. So I like how he admits to coordination on all these attacks.
He does.
So
I just like that he can't shut up.
True.
That's the best thing for somebody on the other side. You just want them to keep talking.
Well, I better do this before we wrap up, actually, because I got a bunch of super chats. I just forgot.
Yeah, you got to do super chats. Really good.
Okay,
I'm gonna run because I actually have to be somewhere in a little while, so I'm gonna get out of here. But listen, guys, it's always wonderful to see you. Are you still doing your Friday night thing tonight, Rob?
Friday Night Frenzy's back on, and then Eric's doing 5:30.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at 7:30 tonight.
Yeah.
All right,
I'll set up a redirect for you, man.
Awesome.
Cool. Listen, guys. Take care. Let me go take care of some real life stuff and get offline, and then I will see you guys next time. But again, thanks again for all the support, guys, and thanks for all the information. It is coming in hot and heavy, and I definitely always appreciate it. And I'm looking at everything. It's funny because people get so like I sent someone sent me some greatest stuff, so I put thanks a lot, and the person was like, oh my god, you actually read this stuff? I'm like, yeah. I'm reading it because I want to kind of know what's going on. So
we're reading it all, but there's so much of it you can't respond to all of it.
Yeah. Listen, guys, take care. And again, thanks again, guys.
See ya. Joe, are you going to make it for a few?
I think I'm about to crash into my bed.
Dude, go ahead, man.
Have a great weekend, you all. Thank you.
See you, Joe.
Thanks for coming, dude.
My pleasure.
Thanks for hanging in. All right. You and me.
And then there were two.
That went very quickly. Oh, well, 29 super chats. We'll get through it. Oh man! So have you been following all this going on, Rob?
I have had trial. I have had motions. I have had practice. I have been like catching little bits here and there, but I didn't know any of the other hateful content that was not being caught by bot Sentinel.
Oh, that just came out of over the past couple of days. Somebody had tweeted at me, and I wish I had their name available, and sent like just a thread, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I said, but I can't read this. If I put this on the screen, I'm gonna get my channel knocked off. And Nate was smart enough to say, well, let me go grab some and redact it.
Redact them.
I'm like, well, this is why Nate is the smart lawyer and I'm the non-lawyer who's dummy. It's like, yeah, I probably should have done that. And he did more and more and more. But Nate did one thing even further. I don't know if you saw this. There are known bot lists.
Oh, I saw something, but I didn't get to watch him do it. I know that there are known bot lists for like.
He went through them, and none of them except one was identified by bot Sentinel. So he can't even prevent, published bot lists from being. I would think it's like at least do a CSV and upload it.
Just
I mean, good God. It is incredible. All right.
it's not going to stop. He's just going to keep going. And just, Mr. Bouzy, Chris Bouzy, if you're out there, maybe just take a look at the actual driving record before you go and publish things that are false and you know that they're false, and don't admit to knowing things are false after you do it and then delete it. It just maybe also just hire an attorney and stop talking.
Reverse that order, right?
Yeah, exactly. Reverse that order. Just hire an attorney, dude. You make life easier.
All right, I'll give through this one. Regarding the C&D, if he just says new defamatory stuff, not just the stuff listed in letter, will that get him out of trouble? No, I don't think so. You can call me Musta. I'm blocked with a 64% disruptive rating, and I have tweeted only one thing and retweeted whom I follow. Twitter and Tube are new to me, so here's my Bouzy Bucks. Thank you. Bouzy Bucks.
Okay.
All right. I can't say it as cool as Nate. Nate's got that energy, that Bouzy Bucks. And I'm not as good at it. Or Steph, the alternator, is amazing at that too. She's hilarious. Whatever happened with Rob's plan for peace talks with the illustrious CEO of Bot Sentinel?
I woke up the next morning, had an obligation, went about my obligation, came back, looked at Twitter. He went on a rampage against Nate, and then the next thing I know, I'm blocked. So the DMs were open. It just next thing I turn around, I'm blocked.
Okay, so I guess that was your answer. You guys are awesome. I absolutely love when Nate tells someone FAFO. I'm not sure what that FAFO means.
F around and F out. F around and find out.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Do companies have legal due diligence obligation when allowing users third-party data access, e.g., access integrity of company, data privacy protection, verify accuracy of third-party claims based on user data provided?
Very state-specific inquiry.
It is, and I will say that he definitely has potentially a ton of problems with GDPR, because he is collecting user data from what we've seen and storing it and not giving them recourse to release their data. And someone sent me the code or a version of his blocker. And it is actually downloading like all Twitter accounts that are followed, et cetera, sticking in a zip file, it looks like, on the server. And I'm like, first off, why are you using zip, you weirdo? You don't have a database? What's wrong with you? But anyway, somehow uploading it and then putting it in there. So it is being stored locally. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rob.
Interesting. No, just the storage issue, because just because you get it off of, and this is something people need to learn about data privacy, not just GDPR, but Virginia has a similar model that's taking effect in January. But it doesn't matter if it's from a publicly available source. If you're gathering and storing information of an individual, a lot of states are now requiring that you have to have the ability for that individual to contact you and ask that you remove it.
And he explicitly says on the Bot Sentinel, unless it's changed, don't bother contacting me. I'm not taking anything down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's literally shirking the law directly, isn't it?
Kind of. I'm not a lawyer in the EU. I don't know GDPR, so I'm not going to pretend to know. What I will say is that I really wish he would start talking to lawyers. It'd be nice for him to just correct the path that he's on.
Why start now? I mean, he has people who are going to tweet him a thread. You can go by that.
Right now, just because my head is going to thinking about what he's going to do, because he's going to watch the video, or he's going to have someone watch the video.
Oh, well, yes, of course.
He's probably watching right now, and it's one of those things where, look, I have no hate on this man. I don't agree with him. I don't particularly care for him. I don't like that he went after one of my friends. I did see that he made a comment about Tug's kids, and I mirror that response. Don't ever involve CPS. Doing that junk is complete crap. I just wish people would get wise. But then again, that's why lawyers have jobs.
And that's true. And by the way, calling CPS, in my opinion, is a version of swatting.
It can be. It really is bad.
It's on that spectrum. You know, you're and you're also staining somebody's reputation for no reason.
Not just that, but CPS. I mean, if anyone's ever worked with CPS, I've worked with CPS. There are good CPS workers and there are not good CPS workers. The good CPS workers actually do a full inquiry. They have a good understanding. The not so good CPS workers will take one person's allegation and then all of a sudden you don't see your kids for 3 months, and it could be based on absolutely nothing or just some speculative statement. These are kids. You don't mess with people's families.
Well, let's go further on that. Let's take your example of a good CPS person. While they're busy investigating a bullshit claim, what's happening to real offenders out there?
Exactly. And that happens in Loudoun County specifically, I can think of. They are so stretched thin that I know 1 or 2 CPS workers who are working anywhere between 30 and 40 cases at a time. And that is impossible to keep up with.
Yeah. So, I mean, on multiple levels, I mean, it's pure evil on all fronts because there are real offenders out there that need to be caught. Let's see. Bouzy tweeted that the server didn't have the correct address. Do you think that just misdirection?
Well, they papered everything.
No, a crazy cat queen. Trust me. We know that the process server had the right address. How do we know that? Because Bouzy took a picture of the process server outside of his place, talking to the cops who Bouzy called. So there's no better witness for the process server other than Bouzy himself tweeting and filing a police report. I mean, tell me, Rob, have you seen anybody quite like this guy?
Twitter is not really the best thing for everybody in the whole wide world. You know, one of the people that he seems to hate more than anybody in the whole wide world is the former president that had a rather interesting hue of tan. And he comments a lot about this former president and particularly the things that this former president would say. I think that Mr. Bouzy has about as much control over his mouth and his Twitter account as that former president did.
Maybe a little less.
Maybe a little less.
All right. My guess is the bot sent is a skin and the underlying program is $100 program from Fiverr. It's very possible. From what I'm hearing from any kind of actual data experts, et cetera, I do not think that it would stand up to any kind of machine learning scrutiny or anything else. And I welcome him to open a source up or to hire somebody to go inspect his code and let us know there's a real thing. I just don't think he's very legitimate. So my opinion.
Oh, Niklas, if you're still in the chat, I have a comment for you that I think is going to be really interesting. I'm debating. I think I might tip Nate off to this to send the process server out there with a can of surströmmings.
With what?
Surströmmings, the nasty. It's basically fermented fish. It's one of the worst smelling things in the whole wide world.
Here we go. Oh, this is Jason Goodman here, who the process server was serving for Jason Goodman's case. And I do plan to hopefully interview Jason in the upcoming days and get his story out. I've been going through interviewing different people who have had run-ins on different channels. So thanks for piping up and sharing, Jason.
Oh, let me pull this one up. No, Rob doesn't hate anybody, and Rob doesn't ever try to hint at any political affiliations whatsoever. I can talk about anybody I like.
Well, the problem is, Rob, they're trying to make it political.
I know. It's really pretty awful. When you don't have the facts in your corner, you throw mud. When you don't have mud to throw, you basically pound the table. Like that's what they're doing right now, just pounding the table.
All right. Okay, it's very easy to make an app that searches against the Twitter API, but not easy to make an app that implements Twitter's terms of service. That's like trying to make an app that evaluates federal law code. Good point, Adam Project. I still think that there's a problem that he has beyond it, because as soon as he's saving the information locally and not allowing people to get it off, that's what's putting him, I think, in the targets potentially of GDPR and things like that. Again, though, I'm not able to get into his systems. They don't seem to hold up from a lot of scrutiny and things we're hearing. But we're not able to get to that. Let me see. Crazy Cat Queen. Is it possible for one, obviously not blocked, to ask for transparency on how the algorithm is supposedly formatted? If he's working for Twitter, isn't there some expectation to show how it's done? He is not working for Twitter. He has friends who work for Twitter, according to his statements, or at least people he knows who work for Twitter. He is using the Twitter API with this programming, and Twitter makes an API, application programming interface, available for third-party softwares to interact with Twitter to enhance their products, etc. Like for example, this video right now on YouTube, if you want to click share on Twitter, I'm sure that's API tied in, but it's pulling up a tweet for you that's pre-filled out, and then it'll post to Twitter on your behalf to share this video. And please do, by the way, feel free to share this video. But that is what he's doing, and that's a perfectly fine thing. I mean, Twitter wants their programming to be used by people, but you get into some problems when you're actually scraping Twitter for people's information, and then you're storing this information of them. And GDPR, from what I understand, has explicit provisions to say you are to remove any of my data. And I think California has one too. I don't know if it's COPPA or something else, but I believe there's a California version of the law.
Mhm.
Rob is saying that Virginia's coming up with something similar that should be probably out soon. And hopefully everyone else does that. Baby Grandma said, search Meghan Markle as a bully. I did that earlier and didn't come out as heavy, but it was an account actually worse than mine. So I still felt like I have to catch up. I think I need to hashtag Amber Heard as an abuser, Bouzy is Bouzy the clown, Meghan Markle is.
Just to make your Twitter score or your store go worse. You want to be more of a badass than me?
Yeah, why not? Because you're upset. You know, I'm trying to take care of my friend, and it's fun to game a bullshit algorithm. All right, pull up a picture of Meghan next to the Queen and tell me how she's a person of color. Nate, does she have a pass? Yeah, that's something that I've brought up. I mean, first up, it doesn't matter that she's black, biracial, mixed race. I don't know. I don't even know. None of it matters. But a point that I've made before is I didn't even know. As far as I knew, she was Caucasian when I saw her. I have no idea what, and didn't really care.
I don't
so
care.
It's sort of hilarious.
Why do I care? I'm not judging who she is based on what she looks like. I'm judging what she's doing. And honestly, I don't know enough about her to judge her one way or the other.
Right. I mean, I don't even really, I don't follow it that much. I know a lot of people do, and that's a prerogative. She's a public figure. People can be critical of her, though. People are critical of me, critical of Rob. Not many. I mean, they all like Rob. People have crushes on Rob.
No, they
but
don't.
Rob and his wood.
Oh Lord.
Rob, they'll lumber himself.
Mm.
I'm at 62%. That's too low. See, people understand how this goes. It's like, well, wait a minute here. I currently am at 24%. I'm going to tweet one of those trending Amber Heard hashtags and see. Do it, man. Do all of them and see if you can shift this. Let's see. The Japanese Yazuka won. Following these problematic YouTubers blocked by Mr. Bouzy himself and is 0% on Bond Sentinel. How am I not at least 1%? I don't know. You're doing something wrong.
He blocks everybody. He blocked Sharon Hogue. Blocked Mrs. Hogue.
Well, she follows Rich. And how can you block Rich? Okay, in fairness, Rich Hogue, out of everybody, Rich Hogue has explicitly kept some clean hands and said, I don't know that I agree with everything that's going on here. I think the reactions are pretty strong. So I do want to point out there that Rich is definitely not a flamethrower. He's a really nice guy and actually too kind to Bouzy and crew, in my opinion. But that's him. And he's not wanting to step into the fray. And you know what? Good for him. I think that's fantastic. Totally agree with that. Okay, boiler operator. Amateurs. I'm at 53%. And of course, blocked by C. Bouzy, even though I never interacted with them. Legal Mindset had a panel of tech experts breaking down how basic his work is. And how
I heard about that.
His certificate's 2 years expired? Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll have to check that out too. Especially because out of all of LawTube, I think that Legal Mindset is the crypto guy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. He and I have argued about it because I think Bitcoin and I think crypto's a little suspect, but that's my own personal feelings because I still don't understand it. And if I don't understand it, I kind of, but Crypto Bouzy did have a previous business. Anyway, I'm getting 44% bordering on problematic, yet I don't hate or swear on Twitter, but I retweet you a lot. Then you should have it growing. It should keep growing. And thanks for the retweets. Guys, he's clearly violating the API terms of service. He should have his access revoked immediately. No API equals no bot Sentinel. He's selling airware. He's a hack. He's committing fraud. Let him prove he isn't. Okay.
That's Twitter completes their own terms of service.
Yes, I can't speak for them. I know people are reporting it, and if they choose not to, what am I to do? I will point out criticisms. I know somebody right now is collecting all the journalists who are using him as a source. I think that's a good idea, and I think that we should point out to all the journalists that perhaps they need to check their source. I don't think that's unfair, that there are some serious problems with the data. And if you are going to hold him up in national publications such as the Rolling Stone, such as the Washington Post, I saw that Kat Tenbarge, our friend from NBC, who, by the way, blocked me. She's number third person who blocked me. I'm sure others have too, but third that I know about. Are you blocked by Kat Tenbarge yet?
I don't know if I'm blocked by Kat or not. I know that Bouzy blocked me because he honestly, it was in my DMs and trying to see if he had reached out to me. I reached out and see if he was saying it. That's the only way I found out he blocked me. Eve Barlow blocked me. I think Michelle Dauber blocked me. I don't know. Let me say Kat. TENBAR.
Well, I like this. Beta Bouzy.
No, Kat hasn't blocked me.
Give it time. Zoe Lynch, my business account is 82% problematic for tweeting about my product Dobby Shoes Sneak Peek new shoes. It's awful. I paint shoes for a living.
That's great. That's great.
All right, Bouzy Bucks. Thank you very much. And thank you, Deranja. Or Deranja. I don't know. Nicholas Darlow, how much does a full page ad in New Jersey paper cost? If every attempt fails, I heard you can put the service in a paper. I guess jurisdiction, I don't know.
If service by publication depends on what you're trying to get him on. Trying to get personal service, serving him by publication, he would have had to subject himself to the jurisdiction at some point in time. I'm going to trust Nate and his attorneys to handle that.
All right. How are you feeling, Joe? Spreading my Bouzy Bucks around. Thank you very much. He's not feeling well. He went to bed. I can give info on Tucson. Okay. Share out later on Twitter. Definitely please share and spread her comment around. I mean, it just cracks me up. Nate, I send you some screenshots on Twitter. My alt account has nothing on it, but follows you, is rated problematic and is in jail. Ooh. Bouzy is the bully on the playground that picks on the smaller kids. LawTube are the high school kids that just happen to be there one day. By the way, Rob, I haven't been able to talk to you for a while. The whole reason this blew up in his face, I believe, is because of this tiny channel right here.
It was, and it was honestly, well, it was the timing of everything. So he goes after Joe, then that pissed me off, and then I pulled out the bankruptcy stuff. And then he went after me on a personal level.
But this is why. Remember, he got really, really nice to you that night and was almost trying to go on and talk to you and all that?
Uh-huh. We're not
What's the
talking
difference? What's the difference between your channel and this channel?
I don't know.
Let's just say a factor of about 10 times the subs on your channel.
Oh, size?
Right. Christopher Bouzy is very famous for going after tiny channels. And think about it. He sees this channel. It had fewer than 20,000 subscribers at the time with a bunch of lawyers on it, right? Mm-hmm. So you guys all must have been tiny little legal channels.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why he did it. He saw that and he said, oh, let me find this guy, Rob. Went boom right after you. And then all of a sudden that night, he's getting spanked by a sizable channel. Then the second guy he goes after, an even bigger channel. I mean, he didn't have a chance to go after Viva Fry. I mean, it was also near.
Yeah, it's like, it's pick your battles. I mean, he I think he blocked I know he blocked Emily like right away,
which is funny.
Yeah.
Oh, Ruby is only at 3% and still got blocked. We might have said your name out loud.
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, it's the Bouzy block. Oh yeah, Rob, you weren't here. This is
I saw that. I haven't gotten mine yet. It should be in the mail.
Everyone, Popcorn Planet. I wish I thought of it myself. Left a great merchandising opportunity down.
Got to jump when the iron's hot.
And somebody just pointed out in the chat too that Andy Signor did invite him to where he could come on Popcorn Planet. He did multiple times. So she's admitting the posts were defamatory, later deleted, but still defamatory. Oh, okay. Catherine Tucson. Oh, she claims to be a paralegal. Ooh, don't have her write your stuff up, Rob.
I mean, that's fine. You can be a paralegal, but I have no problem. I know some great paralegals that are remarkably intelligent. I just think that she's kind of wrong on some of the analysis.
Yeah, I think so. Rob, you are the best, kind, caring, even for people that are mean and raw. No wonder you're a great lawyer. See, he even hangs out with me still.
Thank you, Crazy Cat Queen.
Nicholas Darrow. Sir
Knew he was there.
What?
I knew Nicholas was still watching. Sir Strawming is fermented in barrels for 6 months, then canned, and the fermentation continues until you choose to open it, or until it explodes.
What is it?
It is fermented fish. They throw it into a can. It continues to ferment. So the terrible thing about this is apparently when you pop the seal, because it's been fermenting and all the gases have been escaping, it blows up wherever you are, and all of that smell ends up everywhere in the vicinity where you're located.
That sounds like, oh god, that Bushflick. No, oh god, they eat it. The proof that Vikings were badasses. I forgot the name of it, but they have it in Minnesota.
Oh, pickled herring. I eat that.
No. It's lutefisk or something like that. It is.
Oh,
it's fish that's rotted in lye.
Yeah.
And they did that. They would poison their food stocks when the Vikings hit, because they were like, okay, well, if we poison the food, they can't eat it. And the Vikings were like, this is good.
This is delicious.
And they carried down as a tradition. So it was just kind of proof of, don't screw with the Vikings. Do not screw with the Vikings. Crazy Cat Queen, thank you. I explained things very well. I do appreciate that. Thanks for all your diligence and research for all your topics. Enjoy all the commentary. Thank you, Carrie Crom. Really do appreciate that. And Felony Squad Org. Mr. Goodman sued Bouzy and co-defendant George Webb, FYI, very Alex Jonesy. Don't know all that. And I do plan to have Jason Goodman. I'm trying to coordinate and get the order right. I've been doing a rash of Megxit people to kind of bring both sides of the pond into this whole situation. And I believe Jason's been talking to Nate also. Let me see. Cynthia, to Rubius point, I follow no one. Type in every name. I've liked one of Nick's in the last year. Blocked. That's crazy. Oh yeah. Well, just by following us does put you at risk. Still working on my table, Rob. We'll send pics.
Good. I gave tips on how she could make her first Riverport table.
Awesome. Okay. Lutefisk is fish jelly.
I don't want to think about that. I haven't eaten lunch yet. This is terrible.
Somebody has a question, doesn't want to post in chat. What, tweet at you maybe? Or
send me an email. lawnlumber@gmail.
There you go. All right. Well, Rob, I guess I have to let you get back to pretending to be a lawyer. I need to make sure that I don't have to find somewhere in my house to take cover. But I do deeply, deeply appreciate you coming and I appreciate all of you folks. If you like this, please consider subscribing. Remember, a lot of this went down on this channel, quite literally, a couple weeks ago, and I'm covering it here. I'm covering it also on EricHunley, and we're covering on Nate and Eric. Definitely subscribe to Rob at Law and Lumber. I don't know if you're really covering this as much.
Not much,
but definitely follow him. Great person.
Nate has this thing cornered 3 ways from Sunday. Anything that I do is doubling up on it. So Nate can handle this part. I'm going to go and look at all the other stuff that's going on in the world.
Oh, you mean all the actual news? Not the drama news. Anyway, everyone, thank you so much. And please subscribe, please share, and please come back.